Another ferocious battle between two beasts. Who wins? Briar Witch Iseria or Dark Corvus?
3, 2, 1, go!
Hey, what's going on, Knights? The Mrs. of the Gamer. Go back to another epic video. So today, I know, same shirt from last time. I'm recording two videos at the same time because I'm actually going out of town. So I want to go ahead and have these hopefully ready for y'all. And hopefully I'm going to actually do this in like every couple months. So like last time, I think it was Riolet and Arby, and now it's Iseria and Corvus. So in 2 months I'm going to do it again, where it's gonna be two. I'm not gonna do Dark Corvus versus whoever the new one is. I'm gonna go I'm gonna put them against each other, two new ones. So who should you summon? All right, so let's go ahead and look at them. I know I don't have this girl, right? Briar Witch Iseria. Or I should make it more which mystic rotation should you summon on, because it shouldn't just be about the MO5s, right? Because it's not that easy getting them, right? Unless you're like right at the pity and you're like, I don't know which one to get, right? You should look at the MO4 stars as well, or even the 5 stars if you don't have a little bit, which I talked in my last video why she's really good. Violet if you don't have them, you know. But to just focus on it, let's look at the big guns, the ones that everybody's like, oh my gosh. Briar Witch Iseria, she's a new hero, right? That's already 1 point to I give her. Let's go ahead and look at her skills. She defense breaks with the first skill, kind of like her normal element stuff. I think her normal element does 2 turn defense break though. This one only does 1 turn. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that. Her passive increases hit chance by 25% chance. A successful attack inflicts additional damage. Additional damage increases proportion to the caster's attack. Now, if you don't know this, and I keep making fun of it because of how it's worded, but having it crit or have it land, like it don't even say crit. It just says additional damage on the enemy if it lands as a successful attack. So even if it normal hits, it still does additional damage, which is pretty freaking good. And then on top of that, increases hit chance by 25%. What does that mean? That means that Moonlight Dreamblade is not a nightmare. Violet, Riolet, anything with evasion, Celine, I think that's her name. There's so many, Cerise, Celine, Bean, whatever. There's so many, I forget their names. So those, she doesn't care about that. She basically ignores that. Now, yes, it is not 100% chance. It is a 25% chance. So there is still a chance that it will proc. But this leads into her third skill, which decreases attack and cannot buff and strips, which is insane. I seen this in somebody on my Discord. I see Daniel. Thank you for sending me those clips. Those he has a team with Iseria, and she does insane. He has a cleave, and she does insane damage with her third skill. And the fact that like she's not only just a stripper, she's able to do a whole bunch of damage. When she first came out, I was like, I don't need a stripper. I don't want to try for her. But I've seen her do an insane amount of damage. So she can be part of a cleaver, and not only that, she has defense break, which is really good, you know. So that's the pluses of getting her. Let's go ahead and look at Mr. Dark Corvus here, right? Dark Corvus is one of the more older heroes in the game. He has a first skill provoke. His passive goes up to 100% chance, decreases skill cooldown by 1 turn if he gets hit, and then by 2 turns if he gets hit by a crit. And then his third skill, which does not land as a crit, but it does insane damage. So what does that mean? This means that this ignores stuff like Moonlight Dreamblade. You know, he will still do the same amount of damage. The burn actually does significant amount of more damage, and he's a pretty tanky unit. So what makes him really good is that he can mess up people in arena. So I've been messed up by this guy because I would try to debuff him, and he would have Strax Gauntlet, which can mess you up like crazy if he's continuously being hit and you're trying to get rid of him, doing all these debuffs, and all you see is resist, because he's just resisting everything, so he's not being controlled, and then his skill cooldown is going down. Boom, he does his third skill, gets rid. He basically just ends up soloing. So that's what makes him really, really good, right? Does insane amount of damage, third skill. His second skill makes sense with his third skill. His first skill makes sense with his passive. It goes backwards, right? Because provoke, he gets hit, he gets stacked. So his third skill will always be on cooldown until he gets hit enough times. The artifacts you can put on him, because I have them, you can put him on the candle, the prophet candle or something like that. You can put him on that, which synergizes a lot with his passive. You can put him on Strax Gauntlet, like you saw. You can put him on Durandal as well if he's kind of on the slow side. Which, by the way, I do not recommend you building a slow Corvus. He can get killed easily that way. Even if he has a lot of effect resistance, there can still be Abyssal Crown stuns, and whatnot. There's even resets out there, so just be cautious. Don't build him slow. I'm saying this off of experience. This is probably why I haven't used them, but so those are kind of the pluses on both sides. What is the cons? Okay, so I'm gonna start off with the cons, unfortunately, with Dark Corvus. Disclaimer, this does not mean that any of these heroes are bad. They're still good. I'm just stating what kind of hinders them, and I mentioned it in the last in a couple videos ago, but I cut it out because I was talking a lot. So let me make this short. He was really good back in the day because there was not as much control. There was not as much ignore effect resistance, like when they burn. So let's say Bazaar, his burn ignores effect resistance, so he can push him back and add the unable to buff on himself, which doesn't really matter. I think it's more about the pushback that can save people. So having Abyssal Crown, because that cannot be resisted, stuff like that where he can be controlled. Like I said, if you have a lot of effect resistance and he's fast and tanky, you have the perfect Corvus. He's really good if he's in that state. But I feel like a lot more people would want to go for this girl because nowadays, everything is about cleaving. Everything. You want to cleave everything. You don't want to go in arena and like, alright, I'm going to take my Dark Corvus. That's something, no, you want to take into like Guild Wars because that's something that you have to be a bit more careful of. You want to bring bruisers. You want to bring that type of stuff. So he'd shine the best in Guild Wars and defense. That's where he best shines. This girl, I feel like you can use practically anywhere besides PvE. I don't think she really shines in PvE too much. She doesn't bring too much to the table. She has an AoE, so I guess you can bring her in Banshee, but it has not a really high cooldown, right? 4-turn cooldown, but you want to kind of have AoEs available a lot in that. I don't even do Banshee that much, but I feel like that's kind of the strategy you want to go for. But when it comes to arena, PvP, or even in Guild Wars, you want to cleave. So that's why people use Jugs Kisei, people use Arby, people use stuff like that because it's AoE, cleave, kill everything, And I feel like she's not very far from that, which is really cool that they kind of brought out another hero that kind of matches their power and not OP, right? She's kind of in the normal scale, which is good. She's a really good hero, especially since she doesn't have, or ML hero, she doesn't have any elemental disadvantages. So she's able to just, boom, hit and nuke if you build her for really fast nukey type. So that's kind of the cons of him. And that's why if I were to recommend, like I said, this is kind of being biased in a way, even though I do have him and I do like using him. He's really fun, really tanky unit. I feel like he's being hindered by the fact that right now it is all about cleaving, which she's really good at. Like I said, she doesn't just like you see Bazaar. You don't see people build Bazaar, damage Bazaars. You see people just fast with effectiveness. That's really it. She requires a bit more stats when it comes to crit chance, crit damage. You want to put some attack and a lot of speed on her. Effectiveness, depending on how you want to use her. If you want to use her as a stripper, you're like, you know what, I'm gonna use her as a stripper because I don't have Bazaar, then go for that. When it comes to Corvus, I feel like he's a one-trip pony in a way. Like I said, he's good, especially since that one thing he does is really good. He one-shots things, right? But that's really the only way you can build him. Like with other heroes, and I like doing this, is where the hero can be built in different ways. That's really fun to me. But it might be different for you. I always say this when it comes to to heroes when you want to summon, I always say this, and say this in my Discord, and I will continue to say this. If you like a hero based off of the looks, based off of the skill, based off of whatever, if you like it, go for it, summon it. Because I was baited like that, and I'm going to continue saying this because I was baited like that a long time ago, where people were telling me to not summon for Bellona because Luna was coming out, and Luna is not out, and like Luna, I don't use her anymore. So it's like, and I waited basically a whole year until I got like 3 Bellonas, right? So I'm going to continue saying that. If you want to go for Dark Corvus, go for him. I'm just trying to kind of give y'all a perspective if you're kind of on the tip edge, like, I don't know. I'm telling you based off of me being a Dark Corvus owner. Yes, I do use them, but I feel like you can use Iseria a bit better just because she's a bit more meta, coming from she's able to cleave, and that's what the meta is right now. So like I said, they're not bad units. Neither of them are bad units. If you don't want to go for her because you're like, I don't like that scratchy eyes on her chest, I want to go for Dark Corvus, go for it. Go for it, by all means. That's always something I always encourage. Now, let's talk about the Mystic rotation overall, right? Not just the ML heroes, which is, like I said, let's go over the 4 stars, right? How this girl is kind of like the light 4-star version of Corvus. She literally is. She does insane damage with her 3rd skill. She provokes with her 1st skill, and she cleanses. Is she a bit better than? Is she a bit better than Corvus? Nah, I'm just kidding. But she does do insane damage, 300%. I haven't built her myself because I feel like I'm still in the same train where I'm like, first off, I love using spez, so I love seeing the big damage immediately, right? But this girl, you have to kind of, it's situational. She's a defense type unit that does damage based off of defense. Her 1st skill does defense. She cleanses 100% and gives herself defense buff, which adds more to her damage. And then 300% if the health of the enemy is lower when she hits with the 3rd skill, which does insane amount of damage. I've seen this skill do a lot of damage, right? So she's really good light tank, really good provoke, all this. She's excellent, right? And like I said, not talking bad about any of this, right? Let's go to C-Dom. C-Dom is one of my favorite, I know I'm being biased, but she's one of my favorite units. I was thinking about building 2 of her because she's just so fun. Let's go ahead and go over her skills. 1st skill, Electrocute, attacks. I just realized Electrocute. That's funny. I don't know if they added that just to like a little sprinkle. I didn't catch that. Attacks with electricity. A critical hit will increase damage dealt. Like I said, every time it says that, it sounds kind of funny, but it really does mean that, right? Her burn, increased damage dealt, which is insane. Her 1st skill is one of the best one-shot skills in the game. She can be used in, I'm going to go over it in a little bit. I keep sidetracking. When an ally makes a critical hit, the caster's next attack deals stacked additional damage, and their combat readiness is increased by 10% per critical hit. So it doesn't go up by combat readiness because I think it'd be kind of broken, but it goes up by damage, which people say you can't really tell when it's skilled up or not. And then her 3rd skill releases powerful electricity, increases crit chance for all allies by 3 turns, and increases combat readiness by, I believe, 30%. Goes up to 20% and then grants herself an extra turn, which will cause her to basically always have 100% crit if you just give her 50% crit chance, which if you don't have really good gear, there's a chance you're able to just build her right out the bat. So what makes her really good, some content creators I've heard say, oh man, she used to be really good and now I don't use her as much. I use her a lot. Her 1st skill does insane amount of damage. Maybe it's because I'm still mid game, I guess. Her 1st skill does insane amount of damage, which you can still use in PvP. No, I mean, of course, PvP, right? You can use her in PvE. I've used her in Banshee, which made it a lot more reliable because she's able to cycle turns when people crit, and she's able to give more turns when she uses her 3rd skill and just does a lot of damage. And you can even look videos. I've seen videos where she one-shots bosses with her burn, which is insane. I've seen her do 30k damage with a burn without a defense break. So if you're wondering between the 2 ML 4 stars, I feel like this girl is a bit better. Yeah, this girl Fighter Maya is a light tank. If you're looking for a light tank, then go ahead and go for her. But but if you don't have either of these, I would suggest to get C-Dom. C-Dom changed my game. She's one of my favorites. I don't even have her like with a lot of speed. I don't have her with like insane gear, and she does so well for me. So she's easier to gear in a way. I think Fighter Maya is a bit more harder because you have to build her with HP, defense, also speed, also crit chance and crit damage. So it's like she's kind of stat hungry. But this girl you can just build with like basically no speed. You can and have really creative teams where like let's say you build Bazaar with crit. And this girl, he pushes them back, and then this girl goes and she pushes your team up with 20%. And then she softens up whoever is going to actually kill. She is not alone. She's kind of a backup. She's kind of the backup, like the backup dancer in a way. She helps out soften them up. And then her imprint gives crit chance for everybody, or gives herself crit chance, which I don't think it's worth giving her a crit chance, because like I said, she already has it. Unless you're like really focusing on just crit damage, then I guess, right? But I don't think you need that. I think you can just do it without that. But anyways, TLDR, I don't know what the TLDR is. Also, the artifact right here, Tagahel, is where it's like, that's the reason why some people use her as well, is because she can be a Tagahel user or holder, and she's able to just burn with her first skill, or for somebody else. So that's really good. So anyways, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know down below if I missed anything. If anything, like I said, none of these heroes are bad. It's just based off of preference what you need, right? If you don't have any of these and you're just like, I summon and I don't get any of them anyways, I'm just here to watch, well, thank you very much. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe today to become one part of the Cool Kids Club, because there's a lot of y'all that are not subscribed to the channel, and I really do appreciate y'all commenting and just interacting with y'all, whether if it's on Discord. I keep saying this, I love seeing new faces. If you want to join my Discord, go ahead and look for one of my streams. It's always in the description area. And yeah, so I don't know if this helped in any way, shape or form, but I just wanted to put this out there because I did it for the last one, and I'm going to probably do it again in a couple months. So this is kind of just like a daily thing every couple months. So like I said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Every like, comment, subscription is appreciated. I hope to see you in the next video or stream. All right, peace.